Alright, so I wanted to get on here and talk about the Smoothie and Wicked kind of situation, controversy, beef, whatever you want to describe it as. I wanted to kind of provide, I want to say, my kind of side of the story and my point of view, but I feel like it'd be a little hard to find me credible considering I'm just some dude. Quite literally. But I think if you hear me out, you'll kind of understand where I'm coming from. So, I've watched the three videos, both of the ones from Wicked's channel and the video, or the response, on Smoothie's channel. There is mainly one big takeaway I have from the whole thing, and I'll get to that later. So, if you hadn't heard of the drama, somehow, I can only imagine you'd be finding this video if you were invested in it, but if by any chance you haven't heard of it, pretty much a Battlegrounds YouTuber, Wicked, was in the Heroes tournament that happened, I think it was a couple weeks ago. There was a Heroes Battlegrounds tournament with a bunch of content creators, and Wicked was in that tournament. Smoothiedude was also in that same tournament. And according to Wicked, his community kind of decided to do their own investigation on Smoothiedude for the reason of Smoothie had said something, had disrespected or made fun of Wicked for, I think it was cosplaying or something, but Smoothie had made fun of Wicked for something. And so Wicked's community decided to take a look into Smoothie and kind of investigate him, and what they found they considered concerning and strange and odd. And Wicked decided, upon seeing their results, to do his own investigation. And that's kind of the gist of it. Before I get into what I think, if you want to go watch the videos yourselves, which I heavily recommend you do so, they'll be linked in the description, both of them. I heavily suggest you watch them and kind of get your own takeaway on it before listening to me. So, Smoothie, his humor and his community, in simple terms, are very edgy. And a lot of what they do or find funny are kind of suggestive jokes or kind of dirty phrases. Wicked kind of goes into it way more than I'm going to, but that's kind of the gist of it. And that's what Wicked was getting at in his video, was that Smoothie's content and community are sick and disgusting, and in a nutshell, he was calling him a predator. The reason for this was because another creator, another Battlegrounds creator, by the name of Loppy, had kind of taken the same path that Smoothie was taking, right? Having these kind of inside jokes that were really strange, and then his community acting a certain way and the specific ways that they would dress their avatars and whatnot. But I think that the way Wicked went about just confronting Smoothie about this is entirely wrong, right? In Wicked's video, he kind of briefly touched on how he wanted to use his platform for good, and how he wasn't trying to cancel Smoothie and ruin his career. He just wanted to, help him in a way. And if that is true, he completely missed the mark. In my opinion, if he was actually trying to help Smoothie, he wouldn't have been so confrontational about it. And even if he was, he wouldn't have compared Smoothie to Loppy. And Loppy is a, confirmed predator, groomer, all those things. He had a X dungeon, in his Discord server, and overall it was just weird. He, oiled himself up, on his public YouTube channel because he just said he would. Future me here. I really didn't explain the Loppy situation that much because, one, it's not really what I'm covering, and two, it would just take an entire video of its own to really get in depth and describe fully who Loppy is and what he did. But I suggest, if you're curious, go look him up yourself. There's plenty of videos covering what he's done, and it'll be really easy to find. So yeah, back to the thing. And the whole point of why I'm bringing this up is because that is who Wicked is comparing Smoothie to. And all Smoothie does, and has done, is just made edgy jokes. He did, at some point, which Wicked brought this up, put in an image of, like, hentai, which was kind of minimally censored. It didn't show anything explicit clearly, but you could also clearly tell what was going on. And that was something that, like, I found odd, and it was just really weird and uncalled for, especially considering how, while yes, his content isn't targeted towards kids, Wicked brought this up, he's playing Roblox, and specifically Heroes Battlegrounds, which Battlegrounds games tend to have a high majority of child players, or just underage players in general, right? Including Smoothie himself. Smoothie is underage, which I'll get to that more extensively later, but Smoothie himself is underage, so you can just kind of see that there are underage people are the majority of those player bases. And so, being a creator surrounding Battlegrounds games, you have to be self-aware and understand who your fan base is, and then kind of judge your content based off of that, right? That was definitely strange, but, you know, it doesn't validate accusing him of being a groomer or a predator, which that's what Wicked was doing. He didn't explicitly go out and say that, oh, Smoothie is a predator, but he was very liberally comparing Smoothie to Loppy, which I already talked about. And so while Smoothie's content, in my opinion, not my cup of tea, that's not really my humor, and it's definitely odd to me, isn't on any sort of level comparable to Loppy. Wicked's main argument was that it's kind of the same path that Loppy was taking, and all he wanted to do was to kind of help Smoothie stay off that path, and he wanted to tell people about Smoothie. And I think, like I said before, if that's true, the way he went about doing it was completely off. Instead of, you know, accusing him and attacking him and just painting him out to be this weirdo, sicko, loser, almost, right? He could have just as easily gone on to say, what you're doing is strange, right? And it's not from any personal bias, it's just simply the community surrounding the game that you're primarily uploading videos on is majority of minors, right? Underage people. And so you have to be aware of the type of content that you're uploading and what you say and what edits you do, right? Additionally, which I said I was going to get into this earlier, I'm going to get into it now. Smoothie is 17, to my knowledge, and to Wicked's knowledge, right? And while his community, and more specifically, his content, it can be categorized as, you know, edgy humor, like I've been calling it, in, at most, 3 months' time, the time of recording this, which is January 22nd, 2025, in 3 months' time, you won't be able to say that, because you'll be a legal adult, and you can't be talking about underage people like that. And whether it's a joke or not, people are going to take it a lot more seriously. And so, instead of Wicked attacking Smoothie and using his 3-month gap from 17 years old to 18 years old as a way to attack him and make his actions seem even more despicable, he could have used it in a way that would have given Smoothie advice or guidance. Like, hey, what you're doing right now can be classified as edgy humor and put off, but in 3 months' time, right, when you're 18, you won't be able to so easily escape that. And so instead of antagonizing him, he could have tried to guide him and be like, maybe you should stop doing this type of content. Maybe you should stray away from these jokes and these community posts and these edits that you do, right? So that when you do turn 18, you won't get in trouble, right? And so that's how I think that Wicked should have gone about confronting Smoothie. He kind of treated it more as a expose, when in reality he should have treated it more as a piece of advice. So the takeaway from all this is, in my opinion, I think that Wicked was extremely harsh and, in a way, kind of spiteful about the whole situation. Of course, you know, Smoothie had insulted Wicked and his group, and that's what Smoothie believes to be the reason to Wicked's, I guess, kind of attack on him. But maybe, in my opinion, it's something else, right? This type of behavior is just simply way unacceptable for him. Which is understandable. That behavior that Loppy was exhibiting was extremely unacceptable. You cannot do that at all. It's illegal. But I think that he's taking it too far with Smoothie, because Smoothie isn't anywhere near on that level. And while his concerns are well placed, right, what Smoothie is doing can lead to a Loppy type situation, it doesn't necessarily mean that it will. And so I think instead of, frankly, attacking Smoothie, he should have been more considerate about, you know, his video. I'm not here to really condone either side. I think there's both good and bad on both sides, right? Wicked went too far and kind of missed the mark with what he claims to be his reason for making the video, but, you know, his concerns are well put. Whereas Smoothie, although what he's doing is a little concerning and should be, in a way, regulated on his part, right? Just so that it doesn't cause problems in the future, he's not necessarily doing anything extremely wrong or anything that warranted Wicked's response. I'm not here to insert my opinion on the situation because, frankly, it's not my place. I'm not involved in this at all, and I'm not really involved in any Heroes stuff at all. I just think that it's important for people to kind of see things from both sides, and I just wanted to shed light on, if not what I think, on how you can do that, right? And how you can take both sides and make a decision yourself. Instead of listening to me or Wicked or Smoothie, make a decision for yourself. Or, if you just wanted a summary of what happened, there you go. Or, if you don't give a crap, I don't even know why you're watching this video. That's really all I wanted to say. So, see ya.